Hello, it's the Ranny Duck and welcome back for another video and another episode of Swindle and the Duck, where we got two replays today. The first of which is with myself featuring the Tier 8 German premium tank destroyer, the Skorpion G, and then the second replay is in the same tank but it is played by Swindle 321. So the first replay we have for you today is on Highway, where it's Tier 8 matchmaking. And if you want to see the equipment and crew setup I run in the vehicle, you'll be able to see that at the bottom of the screen as I speak. But on Highway here, as you can see, we take the kind of standard position at the initial start of the game on this spawn of Highway. And we get into a situation where we can try and get any shots in on the cross. But an enemy tank gets spotted and we pick up a kill straight away with this really nice gun the Skorpion G has. You've got 490 alpha. And especially when you're fighting tier 8s, you really feel it when you actually connect those shots, and you can pick up damage pretty quickly indeed in this tank. So you've got a decent start to the game. We're going to see if we can get a shot into that Tiger 1 as it starts, and we do. And already we picked up 3 pens, putting us onto about 1,500 damage. And it's a great situation because tanks are already just appearing in front of us. And we managed to get a blind shot on that enemy tank there. And now we're up to 2,000 damage and just took the lead of this game already. And yeah, you don't always get a situation where these tanks are just always peaking as much as this. But quite, initially on Highway, I do like to try and spot, get shots on the cross on this end. You can see we do have Swindle here, who's playing the Mantis in this replay as well. And he's driving forward to try and spot these tanks. And we pick up another shot there, putting us on to 2,600 damage now. And in a 14 versus 12 situation. Some of the enemy teams have started to make their way underneath our ridge, so we've got to be a little bit conscious of that. But we're in a good situation. We're full health at the moment. We've picked up a decent amount of damage already, and we're just waiting for those opportunity shots here on anything else which gets spotted here. And hopefully, if we clear the town area, we can then push forward. The Swindle might be able to spot a few more targets. But I'm going to look to see if we can get a shot into this Barras here. We actually pick up a bit of assistance, which you spot this tank, enemy tank destroyer here, like the enemy Borsig. Unfortunately, that shot doesn't go true there, which is a shame because we would have picked up another big shot of damage, maybe even getting the kill. But we do at least pick up the assistance for it, so we're on to about 1,000 or just over 1,000 assistance now with 3,000 damage. This game is certainly looking like it's in our favour here. We've definitely taken the advantage. I've got all my hit points remaining. Again, I'll try and get a shot on that enemy heavy tank. That shot did go true, unfortunately, but we should have more opportunities to shoot them. I'm starting to think about actually pushing forward and going into the riverbed in front of us now, because a lot of the enemy teams are on the sort of B, sort of 4-5 area. I think we're kind of clearing out the other side, so I might be able to get into a position where I can get some side shots on them. We are going to try and finish off this enemy tank destroyer as he leaves though. Again, I missed that shot, which is not great. I'd like to start getting some more damage in soon, but this enemy tank destroyer gets spotted. We might get an opportunity to get a shot into them. We went for the blind shot, we thought we might as well, but he doesn't thankfully get relit here, and now we'll be able to get a good shot into this target. And finally we pen one, putting us onto 3,300 damage with 2 kills now, and 7 enemy tanks remaining. And the concealment values on the Skorpion G is actually pretty decent. You can see I'm not even getting detected here when I'm firing. And overall, it's just a really decent tank. I do get spotted eventually now, and I'm starting to take punishment, so I do need to get into sort of cover. So I'm going to try and push forward and get into the low ground. We stopped to take a shot at enemy Ho-Ri there, picking up our 3rd kill of the game, put us under 4,000 damage with 1,300 assistance. Only 6 tanks remaining here. We get a shot again into the other Ho-Ri, which I guess was in the same platoon of them, putting us onto 4,700 damage now, just shy of the 5,000 mark. But we've still 5 tanks remaining. We've still got opportunities here to pick up some more damage. I'm going to try and finish off this enemy Ho-Ri if I can. I can afford to eat one shot of him if I need to. We do put him onto a 1 shot there, putting us onto over 5,000 damage now with 5 tanks remaining. Hopefully we could get close to that 6,000 mark. We could try and finish off that shot. Unfortunately, I tried to get that shot in without eating a shot in return, but I ended up missing a shot. I might as well just fully aim, to be honest with you, because I ended up eating the shot anyway. But we do manage to finish him off there, putting us onto 5,600 damage now. But with only 2 enemy tanks remaining, it's the enemy Fun Police and the enemy Barras. And if I'm honest, at this point I'm thinking, yeah, I'm probably not going to get there before they actually get taken out. So I decided that, you know what, I might just stay here just in case the Barras runs, and then maybe I'll just get a shot in, because Swindle's already, you know, pushing up onto that side. He's probably going to pick up the shot on the enemy artillery. So I thought maybe the Barras will leave, and that might give me a window of opportunity to get a shot in. So I'll wait for that opportunity. He is leaving. We're hoping to try and get the kill. Fortunately for us, our shell goes too high, which was a shame. I'd like to have been able to connect that shot. And now I'm thinking maybe I should have actually just pushed in, because the artillery is still not dead. I was thinking it was going to die sooner than that, and maybe if I left earlier, I might have got there, but I'm thinking I probably wouldn't. But that brings us then to replay number 1. We do have one more replay left, which is of course a replay with Swindle playing. So we finish this one off with 4 kills, Brothers in Arms, the Ace Tanker, 5,500 damage, 1,400 assistance. Swindle has a good game there as well. But let's move on to the final replay of the Skorpion G, played by Swindle. 3, 2, 1. Okay, here we are for replay number 2, this time played by the big Swindle. 3, 2, 1. And here we are on Fisherman's Bay, and he is top tier, and there's no enemy fun police, no enemy artillery in the game, and 1 enemy light tank. So initially he's going to go and try and play the ridges at sort of the F5-6 area. Pretty standard position from this spawn, where you can try and get some shots on tanks which are crossing towards the town area at the start, and see if you can get any initial information on tanks crossing, and also hopefully get some early damage. So he's popping into his position. He's activated his food here just to increase his view range that a little bit more, give him some extra chance to try and spot some targets. And he does spot an enemy medium tank here, just up on the ridge, but he's got to be a little bit careful if that tank gets up on the ridge in front of him. Might try and get some shots into him. But as you can see on his friendly team here, most of his team are playing down the 1-2 line, which isn't really great, because it kind of, you know, you don't take a lot of map control here. It's only really sort of Swindle, you know, trying to take, you know, and then the 2 tanks going towards the town, trying to take any sort of control of the map. Everyone else is going to stay in one location, which tends to make the game awkward. So he does get a nice early shot in, and he gets a second shot into enemy heavy tank. Unfortunately loses 1 shot of damage to it, but you know, decent start to the game, getting that 2 penetrations in, and he does pick up a little bit of assistance. But just look how many tanks are just sitting on that 1-2 line. That is going to mean it's going to be awkward for Swindle to stay here for too long. He is going to wait and see if anything crosses, because was tanks got caught crossing towards the town, and he might be able to get a free shot in them as they make the move like that. And he does have to do that, and now he needs to get out of dodge, because enemy tanks are looking to shoot him. So decent start to the game, and this is an awkward one, like I say, mainly because it's the way his friendly team are playing. They're allowing the enemy team to have more control of the map than you would like. So he's going to have to pull back, because he knows tanks are pushing down that town area. A lot of the enemy tanks are also pushing down the 1-2 as well. So he's going to try and get up onto this ridge and see if he can get any better angles for some shots. He might be able to shoot the tanks in the middle from here if they do get spotted. And just see what he can do really at this stage of the game. They're 2 tanks down, like I say, so they are losing the game at the moment, and they're definitely losing the sort of control of the map. But he is able to see if he can get a shot into this enemy 112, which shot him earlier, and he does pick up his first kill of the game and gets a bit of revenge for that tank putting a shot into him earlier. Gets detected though in these bushes, so we need to try and get out of dodge. He's going to pull back round this ridge, because like I say, because you don't have control of the map, there's not a lot of places he can go. He is pushed back into this corner. As you can see, the enemy tanks are pushing out of the town, have won that area as well, and right now it's not looking too good for his team, and it does get worse. But he's just going to do what he can. He's going to dig in and just try and get as much out of this as he can. Like I say, he can't play high up on the ridge because he gets shot. So he has to fall back into this corner. He's able to get a shot into that medium tank though, which pokes it on the outside. If that tank pokes again, he may be able to get another shot into him. So he's put himself onto about 2,000 damage, and they're starting to, you know, the 3 tanks down at this stage. But look at the enemy team. It looks like they're actually going to win the 1-2 area, which is not great. So it's going to mean he's going to have to get out of there, because he can't really stay where he is. He does put a shot into that medium tank, but he's now going to try and push back, because thankfully, you know, the friendly team have at least started to fight back in the town and haven't completely lost that area. but he is forced, like I say, to retreat because it looks like they're losing a 1-2. So he's going to get himself into a position here where he can actually try and cover the tanks when they push out of the 1-2, if you like, and just try, because looking at the scoreline now, it's 6 versus 11. So the enemy team have a massive advantage, and really they should win the game from here, but Swindle digs in and makes it really hard for the enemy team. This enemy SDA pokes in, he gets a shot into him, putting himself onto 3,000 damage there. And like I said, these enemy tanks are now poking us ridge, and because Swindle's managed to relocate back, he is able to get shots in when they're getting spotted by his medium tank in that corner. So he's able to get shots into tanks like this Tiger P is sort of poking too high up on the ridge there. Puts himself onto 3,600 damage. He's now going to try and get a shot into his enemy medium tank, sort of full sent his friendly Ragnarok there. He's able to finish that tank off, picking up his second kill of the game. And suddenly, this game's brought back to a lot more reasonable. It's now 4 versus 6. And the majority enemy team, if not all the enemy team, are located in that 1, 2, 3 sort of area. So at least they're in one sort of location now, and they've managed to take, turn this game from what looked like it was going to be a loss to a game where they might actually be able to recover this and get the win here. So he's on 4,500 damage. He's got 1,200 assistance. He's having a good game. There's a lot of hit points left remaining there. He does go for the snapshot on that enemy tank. Unfortunately, he does hit but doesn't pen, but it looks like he might have another opportunity to try and shoot this enemy medium tank cross in there, which he does, and he puts him onto one shot. That was a good shot because you don't really want these tanks getting closer, because then they're going to spot them and he's not going to be able to fire undetected. Like I say, doesn't have to worry about enemy artillery in this game, which is nice, but it's now on a 4 versus 4, so brought this back to even. There's one enemy light tank still remaining on the enemy team, so that's probably the biggest threat. If he can take care of the light tank, it's going to give us a lot less likely chance of getting spotted. His friendly tank does die, so it does put this back to a 4 versus 3 now. But it's just being patient and just trying to get some shots in. He's going to try and extend his view range a little bit here because these tanks aren't getting spotted. Maybe his medium tank, I think, might be the Mantis, might actually be able to go and spot for him. If that happens, then he might be able to get some shots in because he knows most of the tanks around here. Now here is the enemy light tank, and he gets a slim shot into that light tank, but he does manage to connect and kill that light tank, which was massive. He eats a shot for it, putting himself onto a one shot to pretty much, well, to everything remaining with a 51 hit points. But it came with, it was worth it taking that shot because he was able to kill that light tank, which is obviously a big kill, bringing it back to a 3 versus 3. Also gives him an opportunity to move around the map now, because you know that Mantis is sort of moved up to the 1-2 area. That's cleared a little bit of the area of the map. Most of the enemy team, he believes, is still in the 1-2. He's going to try and reposition to get some better shots, see if he can get any better angles here. Mantis manages to kill the enemy Iron Rain, bringing this to a 3 versus 2. They finally actually have to lead this game. Looking to try and get a shot here on this enemy tank, which is poking up high as enemy Chinese heavy tank. Unfortunately, it shot dirt, which wasn't ideal. Like one other thing I've always found with Skorpion G, the gun is really good when you actually fully aim. I have found, just from my experience, when you don't fully aim it, it does tend to miss shots. But if you let the aim circle aim all the way in, then it can be fairly reliable, considering it's got 490 alpha. So already it's on 5,500 damage, 1,200 assistance, and 3 kills. With 2 tanks remaining. I think the enemy medium tank might be a one-shot, but the enemy Chinese heavy tank is still fairly healthy, so he can easily get above the 6,000 damage here if he's able to land a couple more shots into this game. His Mantis is moving up, getting underneath the ridge, doing the right thing, keeping these tanks spotted. Obviously, Swindle has got to be careful because he is only on the 51 hit points. Doesn't want to throw the game from here by getting taken out. So he's keeping his distance and allowing the Mantis to spot while he tries to get shots in. Looking to try and get a shot in. Unfortunately, the heavy tank doesn't back up just enough for him to get a shot in. You see, he's a bit frustrated there because it would have been an important hit if he was able to get that one in, because it put that heavy tank onto a one-shot. He has activated his food here, and he does finally manage to land that shot. Puts the enemy heavy tank on the one shot. Does get spotted for it though, so he needs to pull back down the ridge so he doesn't get taken out. But he should be able to do that okay. Now he's going to go back and see if he can shut down this enemy BZ heavy tank. And hopefully now with his other friendly tank moving up, they're going to put these tanks under pressure, and they should be able to take him out here. Unfortunately, Species does keep avoiding these shots. Maybe this time he'll be able to land it. He does, picks up the kill, puts him on to 6,200 damage with 4 kills. 1 enemy tank, which is a one-shot. He's moving in to see if he can pick up the 5th kill, but he gets shut down by his Mantis, who also has a good game. And yeah, that brings it for the end of the video. So how does he finish up? He finishes up with 4 kills, 6,000 damage, 2,271 base XP there. Unfortunately, he still missed out on first place, even though it was a really good game. And 1,200 assistance with the ace tanker and the high caliber. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!